Is it better to have loved and lost than to never have experienced love at all? This is the thought that I've been struggling with for some time now, and especially timely was this comment that kind of reflected this same type of thought. You know, for me, as Thanksgiving is this week and the holidays roll around again, it's especially hard for me to feel thankful. These days, as I experience the pain of seeing my mom gradually slip away, I think it just makes giving thanks extremely difficult. I catch myself thinking about the pain, thinking about how much it hurts and just wishing that I couldn't feel it. Thinking that if this is how much it has to hurt, then I just wish that I had never felt this love in the first place. But despite this, I had a conversation with a close friend of mine who just recently lost her dad too. With the help of her dad, Sara opened a bakery in 2017. Her dad was always there to help, working long hours, helping her set up the shop, helping her achieve her dream of opening her dream bakery. After a short bout with cancer this year, he passed away at the age of 58 on September 11th. He was still going on bike rides. We were talking to him at the store nearly daily. And just like that, all of a sudden, he was gone. Honestly, for me, it was a whirlwind of emotion. Seeing my mom struggling with her health, and then all of a sudden, Sara's dad gets sick and then passes away in the span of just a few short months. So this week, as I was thinking about the approaching holidays, most likely being mom's last with us, I was reminded of how Sara's family is already missing a key member. But what stuck out in my mind the most is this statement that she made to me during the course of our conversation.
This man has taken care of me, blood, sweat, and tears for 27 years. And I get this opportunity to give back to him in any way. Having this opportunity to show him how much I loved him and cared for him was literally the best blessing ever.
You see, Sara was her dad's primary caretaker towards the end of his life, and her attitude that she approached that situation with was such a stark contrast to how I was feeling lately. You see, time and time again, Sara continued to highlight the fact that it was a blessing for her to return this type of love that her dad showed her throughout her whole life. That to be able to experience, share, and then return that type of love, that's a blessing that she wouldn't trade for anything else. And one of the biggest reminders that she kept restating during that conversation that sticks in my mind the most was her repeated sense of gratitude despite the situation.
I really feel like at peace with him leaving at the time he did. I feel so grateful he even lasted to that moment. I feel so grateful for the 27 years he's given me.
You see, unlike how I was just letting myself spiral down in the pain and the sadness, Sara continued to reiterate that the way that we respond to these situations is our choice. And instead of being consumed by the loss, that we can choose to focus on the times that we did have, to be grateful for having had them in our lives and be thankful for the times that we did have to spend with them. And so even though it's hard, I was encouraged to try and be thankful. And so as I was reflecting on it, I'm super thankful that I had such a kind, loving, and gentle mother, full of kindness and grace, always putting the good of the family before her own needs and wants, who put aside her own job and her own career to stay home and raise us. There were times when I would have a hard day at school, and knowing that in just a few short hours I'd be able to see mom again always gave me comfort. Even up through junior high, when I would come home crying because I was bullied for not being good at football and not invited to play football with the rest of the guys during lunch, mom went out immediately and bought a football, and we would practice catch every day after school until I got enough confidence to play with the guys. In high school, coming home from school, she would always have a bowl of food ready, knowing that I'd be hungry as soon as I got out. And she'd always make my favorite noodles or my favorite pork chop, and she would often even do this late into the night when I was staying up late studying. Even well into college, mom would make these meals that she'd pack for me in these Tupperware containers that I would then defrost when it was time to eat. But not only was she physically supportive, providing meals and raising us, but she was emotionally supportive as well. She was definitely one of the few people that I can say truly understood me. When my dog Minnie died suddenly in 2011, I remember walking in the front door and collapsing in tears. And I remember mom just ran to me and sat on the floor with me, holding me for I don't know how long. Even in my angsty teenage years, she understood me and treated me with gentleness and patience. I remember on the night that my parents found out that I hadn't defended my little brother when he was getting beat up, but instead I had just stood idly by, watching it all happen and not moving a finger to help him.
Later that night, mom and dad came home and they saw his injuries and they demanded to find out what had happened. And I remember when they found out what happened, dad was furious. He was like, "How could you have let this happen? You were supposed to protect him. You're his brother." And I remember in that moment feeling so much shame and so much anger at myself for not having done anything, that the only thing I could do was weep, turn around, and kick the wall.
I remember in that moment of sitting on the ground after kicking the wall with tears in my eyes, mom gently telling dad he feels shame, he's angry at himself. And so I'm thankful and I'm so grateful for a mom that was so supportive and so loving through all the stages of my life. I'm thankful that during this period, as she continues to get worse, that I could be working a job that allows me the opportunity to work and also take care of her at the same time. I remember for a while wishing that I had done something that was maybe a little bit more glamorous, maybe something that would make me have to travel the world or exert a lot of influence on a lot of people in many places. Sometimes somehow wishing that if maybe I was some high-flying executive, that life would be a little bit more interesting. But these days, just reflecting on that, instead I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful that I work a job that allows me the flexibility to work from home, that I have supportive and understanding managers, friends, co-workers at work that understand our situation and are willing and able to accommodate. I'm thankful and grateful for the technology that allows us to continue to be productive while giving me the opportunity to attend to mom's needs as necessary. I remember distinctly when I was 5, one day mom was teaching me how to tie my shoes for the very first time. I remember sitting on the ground with her at the top of these steps in the rented house that we were living in at the time. She had just finished teaching me how to loop the 2 bunny ears of my shoelaces and loop them together. I thanked her for teaching me, and I still don't know why she said this, but she said, "You're growing up," and she told me that one day I would grow up, I would find a girl, I would marry her, and then I would leave her. I remember bursting into tears, not understanding why my mom was telling me that I would leave her. And I remember making her this promise that I would never leave her, that no matter what, I would stay with her. And I'm so thankful that through all of this going on, that I'm able to keep that promise to her today. I'm thankful for mom's relationship with dad, that no matter what, she supported him and kept this family unit together by first prioritizing God first in their relationship and secondly their relationship to each other. They always made it abundantly clear that they loved each other, always sacrificing themselves for each other for the betterment of the other person. It was truly a relationship based on humility, and I'm so thankful that I had the experience of growing up in a family with such love. I'm reminded of one of mom's greatest wishes, and I'm so thankful that somehow through this it's being fulfilled. And that was, at one point in time, she told me that she would never be able to stand the heartache of being separated from dad. And as sad as that might sound, one of her greatest wishes was that she would never have to experience separation from him. And I'm thankful that somehow through this situation that her wish is coming true. I'm thankful for a loving and incredibly supportive wife who, despite this being not the most ideal of circumstances, is willing to stand by my side and serve in love. That through mom's illness and through this difficult situation, that we've grown together as a team, and that I continue to see that no matter how hard it gets, that her patience and love continue to shine through. She continues to keep me grounded and humble, making up for my weaknesses with patience and love, as she continues to be gentle with me even when I'm the one being difficult. I'm so thankful that I have such a good partner that I can navigate this stage of life with. I'm thankful for friends that know exactly what I'm going through and that we can be there to support each other. Friends like Sara and Brittany, just to name a few. Sara, who provided such valuable insight, who gave the inspiration for this video. And Brittany and her husband Jeff, friends who we can walk right alongside with, whose life changes, life stages, and experiences almost mirror ours exactly. I'm thankful for friends that know exactly what I'm going through and that we can be there to support each other. As Britt's dad is currently also ill as he battles cancer, it really drives our friendship and our relationship to such a deep level. And as we navigate these similar life stages together, I am so grateful and so thankful for friends that I can stand alongside with. Lastly, I'm so thankful and grateful for this YouTube community. When I first decided to start sharing this journey that we're on a few months ago, I didn't really expect this many people to watch. But since then, there's just been so many positive comments and so many of you have expressed how much you resonate with the stories that I share. And it just humbles me so much that this week I managed to even hit 100,000 subscribers, which I never thought was something that was going to happen. And so I'm so grateful and so thankful to you guys for allowing me to share this story with you guys and for allowing me to let you guys know my mom as I know her. I know that one of my biggest fears going through this was that I would forget who my mom really was, that the memory of her would be replaced by this version of her that I see day in and day out. But through these videos and through these stories that you guys encourage me to make each week, I'm able to hold on to these memories and even share them with the world. And so I'm so grateful and so thankful for all of you. And after reflecting on all of this, I can honestly say that despite the heartache, despite the pain, and despite the loss, I would never trade away the joy and the love that I've been able to experience.